back. You got timed out on YouTube. I'll end the stream soon and I'll sort it out. Wait, let me go into the library. Let me see if I can go into the library and sort this out. Shit. I don't have my library card. What's up? Yeah, I went into the shop, yeah. Hey bro, how are you? I went into the shop and I know them. You know, I said I put my phone in a shop in Rathmines to charge the other day. And I think that he might have did something because the battery's going down and down and down. I mentioned to him that I'm doing. Yeah, we lost you. Yeah, sorry. I had to switch off the live because I was going into the shop to ask the guy to check the phone. I was telling him that I'm streaming YouTube live, and he was saying that that's the reason why the battery's going down really fast. He says you would know if it was changed in the settings. You know? I said, do you think he changed the port? Like, you know, the little hole at the bottom of the phone where you put the wire into the charge? He says, no. You don't need to do anything. I think it's just in your head. You're just a little bit paranoid. It's probably just because you're streaming, it dies quickly. That's what he said anyways. What do you guys feel about that? Babe, I'll be at the airport 11 a.m. Oh, that's so cool. I can't wait. That's a beautiful hotel. I stayed there before. It's really nice. I'm gonna go into the library and ask them, can I still access the computer if I didn't bring my library card? It might not be possible, but I can always try. When you stream, the battery goes down faster. Yeah, you stream as well, so it probably happens to you. What phone do you have? And I think iPhone are known. They're known for like not being the best batteries. Maybe I should have got Samsung. There's still some Samsungs out there that are still pretty good. Can't wait either, yeah. Do you know what's crazy? I booked this apartment in Birmingham. It's in a place called Spencer Street, yeah? And I thought the apartment is better because, like, you know, you can save money because you can cook at home. Like, you're not going to have to, like, eat out. You know what I mean? I don't mind eating out, but if you're trying to save for America and stuff, I don't want to be eating out all the time. Maybe once or twice, if that makes sense. But then it says that you need to pay, like, a deposit of €200 or pounds. But it didn't even take the deposit money out of my account. And then I basically just texted the guy through the booking.com app and I said, how do I pay the deposit? And he hasn't even responded. So I have a phone number for him. I'm going to give him a ring later. It's a UK number. But it's kind of sneaky. It doesn't tell you like you have to pay a deposit until afterwards. Like it's in tiny letters. And I've never seen, on anywhere I've booked, I've never seen people having to pay a deposit. I think it's because it's Birmingham, and Birmingham has crackheads and junkies and stuff. And they're just worried that, like, maybe a couple that have an addiction might rent the place and then destroy it. Like anywhere else I was, where I've travelled, I've never seen a deposit. Please last longer, we're gone. Nice, Shani. So you. So Birmingham, can't wait. Yeah. Said hi. She's 18. One second, I need to put the phone in my pocket. Am I able to use one of the computers inside to got my library card?
Yeah, but go to Leon, man.
No, I didn't even plan on coming. That's the thing. I was walking
Even on
past.
his phone.
No. Well, that's okay. I'll just come back another time.
And then I will start it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I have to have ID or something. I didn't even plan on coming here, you see, that's the thing. I was just walking past and was like, hey, I want to go check out the YouTube Studio app. On the computer, it's better, like. Yes, I do. Maybe we'll go later on or something. I'll come back. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that happened to you, Demi. Hi, how are you? Annie. So you guys will stream together in 2 weeks? Probably, yeah. If she wants to. Of course I do, babe, yeah.
This is terrible.
Welcome.
Follow down. Follow down here. Follow Susie.
My hair's all blown with the wind. The wind is crazy. Oh no, now it's raining. Good question, Annie. Sean, how are you? I'm good, how are you? Whose apartment is it? Oh, it's just an apartment that somebody has advertised on booking.com. £149 for 3 days, which is €173, which is a bargain. Like, you'd never get that in Ireland. Like you'd pay like maybe that for a night, like at least 120 a night, at least, sometimes more. Ireland is just really expensive for traveling and for visiting. That's the problem. Everybody says the UK, like, you can get hotels and accommodation for a lot cheaper. I'm not gonna make her pay. Do you know, like, let me just tell you something, guys, yeah? So I paid for it, and then I forgot to put 2 people. But I don't know if it will even matter, to be honest with you. I don't even know if they'll even know, because when I was in Poland, I done the same thing. I forgot to put 2 people. And then my friend was there, and he was staying there, and even the owner seen and didn't even care. So do you think I should go back and add another person just to be on the safe side? Or do you think I should just leave it, like they won't know? Do you know what I'm saying? Gentleman. Yeah, it's just like a double bed, and then you just have a TV. And then I seen there's an oven there. There's a kitchen sink, there's a bathroom, there's a shower. Pots and pans, and then there's cutlery, so you can use them if you want to have a drink of tea or something, or make something to eat. I don't know if there's a microwave, but if there isn't, it's not the end of the world. But I seen there was a toaster there as well. You pay double though if you do that. Maybe just not do it and just bring her in, like, you know. me, Sean. Call them and say. It's best to be on the safe side. No, it won't matter. Yeah, please stream for us. I don't know why she liked me so easily. I remember I was just talking about Coke. I was going for a walk down Sandy Cove near the beach, and I was talking about like which is better, Pepsi or Coke, and everybody was saying Coke. And then I said the McDonald's Coke is the best. And then this girl just comes by randomly called Demi and says, I'll go to McDonald's with you and if you like. And then everything just kicked off from there basically. Okay, CV, or whatever your name is, Sevi. Yeah, we'll do that, bro. So what do you guys think? Do you think you should just pay the extra? Or do you think you should just like say nothing? Because when I was in Poland, I brought a friend in for a couple of days. Do you want to actually know the story? I took a huge risk. And I probably wouldn't take that risk again. There was a guy that approached me in KFC when I was in Poland and says, do you speak English? I said, yeah. He says, do you have any, food? I'm hungry. I'm homeless. He looked clean. He didn't look like someone that was on drugs or was a drinker. He told me he doesn't take drugs or drink. He just told me he doesn't get along with his family. And I gave him some chicken. I actually bought him a meal. And then I said, do you want to stay in my place for a couple of days? I feel bad for you, and I'm kind of lonely and I wouldn't mind a friend. And he stayed there. He didn't mess the place up. He didn't cause any problems. He was really respectful. But the guy, the owner of the apartment, did see him coming in and out. And he actually said to me, I have a spare mattress if you need one for your friend. He didn't say, why didn't you pay extra? He didn't even seem to care. But that was a really nice thing for me to do. But it was also very risky. And I think the reason why I helped him is because when I was in that situation, when I was homeless, when I had nowhere to go, I would like someone to help me, Shit, it's raining badly now. But I think it was a big risk take as well. And I probably wouldn't do it anymore in the future. Where the fuck am I going to shelter? Oh shit. Wait. Very risky, yeah. It is. I was a lot younger back then, so I think I was more vulnerable, Let me shelter. I should head home once this stops. It's okay, so everything came with. Sure. I wouldn't do it again, no. I think I was younger then. I was 18 or 19. I was not as streetwise and not as smart. And just a bit vulnerable. And I probably was a bit lonely and wanted a friend as well because I went there alone. And probably because I was homeless before. And if I was in that situation, like, I'd want someone to help me too. You know? But I wouldn't take that risk again because I've been nice to people and I've been done dirty. So, you know, I'd just say to myself in future, I'd love to be able to help, but I got to protect myself and I can't take that risk anymore. I don't need to feel guilty because I didn't put them in that situation. It's life. You got to protect yourself, or you can't trust anyone nowadays. You know? How do you not know you could have woken up robbed? You could have been, you might not have even woken up at all. You could have been killed. It's a rare, brother. Sooner. 20 days to go. Yeah, I think I just booked June because I wanted to like give myself more time to save some money. And like I wanted to make sure the weather's good as well. But I didn't know that I was going to meet you. If I had met you before, I probably would have booked it like much sooner, if that made sense. I wasn't in any rush to get there because I didn't know you at the time. Camera, yeah. You had me really worried the other day, Demi. You know, the stuff you were posting, you had me really worried. Can you get Guinness where you live? How do I say your name? Shammickle 5764. I'm probably sure you can. Like, I mean, you can get it everywhere. But I'll probably be where my. I never really suffered bad with acne like when I was young. Like when I was 13 or 14, I'd get like your odd one pimple. Like every couple of months, I'd get the odd one. When I was like 13 and 14, like every 3-4 months, 5-6 months, I just get the odd one. But I haven't got it in years. The last time I got a pimple, I would have been maybe 14 or 15. I've been very lucky in that way, I have to say. I knew some people in school who had it really bad. Like really bad. Shut up, Demi. Do you know what I noticed? Facial washes, yeah. And don't be drinking too many sugary drinks and greasy food. And like after eating greasy food, don't be touching your skin. If you just drink a lot of water mostly and just use facial washes. Yeah, and you should be washing your pillow sheets, you know, like your duvet, your sheets, like once a week. Like that's how often I wash my bed sheets and pillow sheets, like once a week.
before being deported. So here's our promise. A reform government will not put any migrant detention centres in any constituency with a reform MP.
How are you? It's calmed down now a bit, the weather. It just keeps lashing, raining on and off. You look very English, Demi. You have that English look. That's what I know about you. Like, you look very English. Do you know the girl in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? The girl that's like very white and very English accent. She kind of looks a bit similar to her, but I think Demi is a lot more prettier. Yeah. And then she got blown up and turned really fat or something. And like, she used to be chewing gum. You kind of look a bit like her. That's what I thought when I seen you. But you look a lot more prettier though. Yeah, the spoiled one, she looks a little bit like her. That's what I thought when I seen her, but she looks a lot prettier, Demi. I'm pretty, yeah. You know the girl I'm talking about, Annie? And the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But people keep saying to me, you look like Charlie Kirk. The guy that was like Christian and like really white ring and anti-illegal immigrant and pro-Donald Trump. The guy that got assassinated. Yeah, Violet. Oh shit. Fuck. I nearly fell there. How are you, bro? Good. Yeah, she is. It's starting to rain again. Like, it's just, I think it's not a day to be out and about, but I like the fresh air as well. I don't like being stuck in the house all day, and especially when I'm streaming, I don't like the landlord guy to be listening to like my conversations. Like, so maybe just, I don't know, shelter somewhere. Really, it gave you nightmares as a kid? I don't know which is the original one. Is that the one where there was like these robot heads going around? Do you remember, on a Ferris wheel, and they all caught fire or something? How are you, Dave, though? I thought the landlord guy was going to be angry with me, because that American guy in Georgia, he was calling me at like fucking 2 a.m. I don't know, he just gets drunk sometimes and then he doesn't really think straight, even though he knows I shouldn't be talking at that time. I talked to him for like a minute or two. I was like, oh, what if the landlord, he heard me? What if I woke him up? But I seen him this morning and he was actually okay with me, so I think he didn't hear me. No, the dwarfs. Bro, that's quite rude. Enjoy the rain, bro. I'm in the Canary Islands, 28 degrees. See, that's one thing about Ireland is its weather. Like, even though it's May, like, we can still have some rainy days in May. Like, the only months we have proper weather is like June, July, August. Like, I want to live in somewhere where it's like hot all the time. Like, the winters are brutal here and really harsh. I'm joking, bro. No, it's all good, bro. Don't worry. Annie, you know what the guy was saying in the shop? I went to the shop that I usually go to get it. He was like, no, it's because you're streaming. That's why the battery's going down quick. He had a look in the settings and he says the battery health is normal 100%. So he doesn't think that he did anything. He says, I think you're just imagining it, bro. That's what he said. I said, what about the charging port where you put in the charger, like the little hole at the bottom of the phone? And then he said, no, I don't think so, bro. I'm in the Canaries. Yeah, I believe it, bro. Enjoy. You're probably from the UK. Thomas sounds very English name. You could say that. Con merchant. What do you mean con merchant? Well, I don't know if he would lie though, like, because he knows I've been into that shop a lot of times and I bought a lot of things. Like, if he knew that there was something wrong, there was an opportunity for him to make money, he'd probably tell you, hey, there's something wrong. He said there's no need to go to Apple, he said. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. This is a nice little park. No, I didn't go back to the same guy. The guy that I believe that might have changed the battery was in Rathmines. I went to another shop in my local area. Where I was charging it the other day, the guy that I thought to change the battery is far away from my house. I went somewhere close to a guy that I know, that I bought many products off before, and I've never been unhappy with them. I've always been happy. Anything I ever bought off him has always worked, has never been faulty, and I went back to him. He's kind of the guy that I go for. I go to him for everything. There's two of them that work there. They're both from Pakistan, like. Told you this when you live in the valley guns. Yeah, you did, Shani. Look, this fountain comes from Glasgow. It's pretty cool. Sun Fountain, Glasgow. That's where it's made. It's the other guy you need to go to. But why would you want to go to the other guy that you believe that might change something? Like, he's just going to say, oh, I didn't. Like, if someone did something wrong, they're not going to admit it. But look, I would stick to Shani's advice, and also the guy in the shop, he said there's nothing wrong. I just think when you're streaming, the battery goes down quick. Look at the bird, he's having a bath. Looks lovely too. They're all having a bath, they're all dipping themselves in. Bye. Back in an hour. So yeah, I hate going to the hospital because like when you go to the hospital, you do be waiting hours and hours and hours. Like ideally, you're better off going first thing in the morning, and that way you're probably guaranteed to get out the same day. But if you go at night time in Ireland, you're going to be just be sitting on a chair all night, especially if you're not a priority, if you're not like bleeding and your life is in danger. Like you're going to be sitting there all night on a chair with like no sleep. You know, you can't really sleep on chairs. I mean, you might get an hour at most, but you can never really properly sleep. I've experienced that a couple of times. It's horrible. And I've even seen some people that were like, oh, we'll leave. We'll get a taxi home and we'll come back in the morning. I'm exhausted. I want to go to sleep. But there is a hospital near me that's not 24 hours. It opens at like 8 a.m, closes at 8 p.m. And it's actually a pretty good one. Like you're guaranteed to get out there the same day. It's not as busy, it's not in the city. And you might be waiting a couple of hours, you might be waiting most of the day, but you're never going to be waiting overnight. They're going to see everybody before closing time. I think that's the best hospital I've been to. It's called St. Michael's. And ideally, if you want to be seen straight away, get there at like 7 in the morning and wait outside, or get there at 7:30 and you'll be the first one in and the first one out the door. But you're probably going to be waiting a long time because you kind of went late in the day. But look, it's better to get seen than to leave it unchecked, you know? And I hope it gets sorted. Hello, Ruby Gum. How are you, bro? Where are you from? What's the story, guys, with that deposit? Does anybody know anything about Booking.com? It said like a £200 or euro or something just before I paid. Like deposit is needed. I'll give you the code to the door once the deposit is processed. But it hasn't even taken any money out of my account. I might have to actually ring the guy and ask him what the story is. Life is always full of confusion, isn't it? There's always going to be something. If you have a medical card, if you're on a low income, or if you don't work, you don't have to pay, no. If you're rich, you have a good job, you have to pay. And a lot of rich people, they have private health insurance. So they'll go to hospitals where there's less of a queue, seen much quicker, and a home much quicker, and they pay a couple thousand a year. But for me, I don't have private health insurance. I wouldn't be able to afford it, and even if I did and I could afford it, I probably wouldn't bother getting it because I think it's a waste, because it's not like you're going to be going to the hospital much. Like you know what I mean? It's not, you don't go to the hospital regularly, so why would you spend the money? But I mean, if you have millions and millions, I mean, sometimes it doesn't really matter. A couple thousand is nothing. So they have to check the email. It's actually bullshit, the deposit, to be honest with you, because it's just annoying. But look, it is what it is. That's the first time I've seen that though, and it's probably because Birmingham is Birmingham. Birmingham is not Poland or Hungary. Like it's dangerous. The place, like, it has a lot of problems. Is it true? I heard this in Birmingham. It's crazy. I've seen pictures online in housing estates in Birmingham, spray painted on the walls, no whites allowed. And like, people have told me, like, after a certain time of the day, you can't enter estates. If you're white, you'll be attacked, which is absolutely crazy. And if that is true, England, its government has destroyed itself. But that's what I've heard, and I've seen pictures of spray paint on the wall saying that, claiming it was from Birmingham. But if that's the case and it's true, I'm not really going to worry much, because I've no need to go into housing estates. I mean, I may be in the city, right? It's not actually exactly in the city centre. No, it's 1.2 kilometres outside. There was a place called Moseley Arms, yeah, that I seen. That was like a pub / restaurant that had rooms upstairs that was directly in the city centre. And I was going to book that, but then I thought to myself, okay, what about the apartment? The apartment sounds better, like, you can cook your own food, like, And it's just handier, like, like, if you want to buy like a bottle of milk, like a 2 litre of milk for the next 3 days, you can just put it in the fridge, you can use it. If you want to get orange juice for the morning when you wake up, it's just in your fridge, it's convenient, instead of having to get up at a certain time and go down for breakfast and all that, if that makes sense. It's just more convenient with the apartment, I feel. And it's not even that far outside the city, like, it's only 20 minutes outside the city. Having health insurance is preparing for the day. You maybe have to get treatment, yeah. Birmingham is a third world shithole. Crew, what are you on about? Are you on about Birmingham in the UK? Yeah, but there's a Birmingham in Alabama in America, in case you guys didn't know. Yeah, I'm on about Birmingham in the UK, yeah. Filmed there numerous times, never had an issue. Maybe you should see it for yourself instead of watching Billy Moore bullshit. To be honest, I don't watch much of Billy Moore. I've watched a couple of videos. Videos of him in Ireland mostly. He's come to Dublin. I didn't know that he went to Birmingham. And what's my opinion on him? I mean, I don't really watch enough of his stuff to know. I don't really know a lot about him to know. Wouldn't go there if you had to, lad. It's a complete shithole. Well, I looked up Birmingham yesterday on YouTube to see what it looks like. And there was a white guy that was filming there. And let's be honest, it didn't look like an English city. It looked like Iraq or Syria or something like that. But nobody had an issue with him. He didn't bother anybody, nobody bothered him, and everybody was actually really friendly to him. So I just think if you just keep to yourself, you'd be fine. Do you know why I think I booked it? Because I remember one time I was coming back from Krakow, Poland to Dublin, yeah? When I was 19, when I was visiting Poland. And there was no direct flight to Dublin, so I had to stop off in Birmingham Airport and I had to wait around a couple hours to catch my flight to Dublin. And I was like, oh, I'd love to see outside and walk around just to see what it looks like. It's interesting to see new places. Like, whether it's a shithole or not, it's interesting to see new places. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just was looking on Ryanair, cheap flights. Birmingham came up, and I just remembered one day when I was in the airport And I was like, I remember that day when I looked out the window and I seen buses going by and I said I'd like to have a look around and walk around. Let's just give it a try. People say it's a shithole, but let's just see for myself. It is what it is, like, you know. Reform. I'm much worse than Farage, lad. I doubt he'd be doing much sightseeing. Yeah. I know what you're getting at. Probably, bro. Probably. Every city has issues, and there will be evidence in some areas. To say that entire city is a shithole is ignorance. You're entitled to your opinion, bro. You know, to say that someone saying an entire city is a shithole is ignorance. You're entitled to your opinion, and I think he is as well to say it's a shithole. I think both of you are entitled to your opinions. Like, I say the same thing about Dublin City. I say it's a shithole, the way it's gone, you know? Crackheads everywhere, homeless everywhere, you know, like people carrying blades, people pickpocketing. It's like losing its culture, you know. Kids only got stabbed randomly by a migrant there, like last year. A police officer was randomly stabbed by another guy, randomly attacked, a terrorist attack, Al Akbar. You know, so I do think Dublin City is a shithole because it's bad politics. The government have let it go that way. They've let it go that way. If that makes sense, bro. There's much nicer places in Ireland you can go to. There's much nicer cities. Every city's less interesting with white English. Shame that they have done to Dublin, lad. I was in the Bond a few months ago, seeing the lads, and it's fucked. Bro, the Bond, no disrespect to anybody that lives there. I'm sure you've good and bad people everywhere, but it's not somewhere where I'd like to live, bro. It has a lot of drug dealing, bro. And you could easily get your head kicked in if you do the wrong thing. Like the silliest mistake, you say the wrong thing, you could get jumped easily there. It's bad, lad, isn't it? Yeah, bro. But look, they've done interviews there on YouTube, and there's some people there that seem like lovely, down-to-earth people, you know? So there's good and bad everywhere. All by design, brother. Yeah, Dublin City is awesome. Had some lovely nights out and really nice folk there. See, it just depends, travelling crew. It depends. Like, it depends on perspective. Like, you can go to Dublin, you can have a few pints of Guinness and listen to the Irish music and have a lovely steak or a lovely dinner and, you know, meet lovely people and say it's a lovely city. But then you can focus on the negative and you can say it's a fucking dump. You know, people keep asking me for change every 2 seconds. You know, it just depends on perspective. But I think it can be lovely in that aspect, but I don't think it's the nicest city. I think if you want to go to a nicer city in Ireland, you should go to Galway. And I think you'd much prefer Galway, bro. Another city is less than shagging law. Bro, why were you in the Bond, bro, if you're English, bro? Do you have friends over here? Someone was only talking about the Bond a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying my friend does deliveries there, and he was saying how much of a shithole it is. That's what he was saying. There's a guy that comes here regularly. He's a fan. He said that's what his mate said about the place. Someone said, like, what would happen if you were to film in there? Because I'd like to see what it looks like. And I said, bro, if you were to go in there and start filming, you get your phone stolen and you'd get fucking jumped, bro. Because there's a lot of drug dealing, and they wouldn't want someone to go in there filming because they would think that you're filming them and they don't want to be seen doing illegal activity. So you'd probably get your phone stolen and you get your head kicked in, and you'd probably be lucky to get out alive, bro. You'd probably end up fucking, if you were alive, you'd end up hospitalized. If you're a bum who don't work and blame your woes on others, the world will look like a dump no matter where you went. Half full, lad. Bro, it's all about perspective. That's just your opinion, you know what I mean? I don't agree, I don't not agree, but I understand where you're coming from. But not everybody that doesn't work is a bum, you know? Everyone has their own... Someone could be disabled, you know what I mean? But yeah, Annie, yeah. Speaking of the Bond, yeah, it's a place in Dublin that it's just really rough. And if you've done something silly or stupid in there, you could probably get jumped, you know, like that easily. Like I remember having a friend that used to like buy drugs in Dublin, and I had to stop hanging around with him because he was getting out of hand. Like I didn't want to be around that type of person. And he went to these flats, not the Bond, but they're called St. James's flats. And then he went up to them and he says, can I get a 20 rock? Like he started doing crack cocaine. It was very fucking sad, like. And I was only hanging out with him because I was lonely. And this guy came from a really nice family, but quickly soon when he wasn't getting his act together, I had to cut the ties. I had to stop hanging around with him. No, it's not a shopping centre. It's a council flats, like high-rise flats, like you know what they have in the UK, where like it's the ghetto basically, and people live there. And there's a lot of drug dealing there, and a lot of crime. And he went in and he says, could he get the drugs? And then they went to take out the drugs, and then he said, I forgot the money. And I was there with him. And I was like, what the fuck has this guy after doing? How do you forget the money? Like these are definitely going to think that we're undercover, like. You know what I mean? Like, and they were like so angry, and they were like, oh, you did this yesterday. And I was like, oh, you did this yesterday, man? And I had to turn around and say to him, listen, he has schizophrenia, he's not well, he gets very forgetful sometimes. I'm telling you, he's not a guard, like, you know, he lives in Temple Bar, he's not a guard, like, I'm actually telling you. And they're like, use our guards, pal. If you don't know what a guard is, it's a Irish word for a police officer, yeah? They were like, use our guards, pal, use our guards. And like, they got really aggressive and shouting, like, I thought the two of us were going to be jumped. Like, they were only about 16, 17, but that's not the point. The point is like there was a gang of them and there was only two of us. I was about 23, 22 at the time, and my friend was like 30. And I didn't run away because that would make you look like a pussy and you probably would get jumped. I just kept saying, no, we're not. And then we walked away, and I don't know what they were shouting. They were like swearing some words. And my heart was like pounding. And like I was like walking down the road trying to get as far away as possible. And then I seen a lad come up on an electric scooter going past me. And I thought he was one of the guys that might have a weapon, or, you know, he might start attacking me. And my fucking heart was pounding, and it wasn't. It was just someone that happened to be on an e-scooter, a teenager in a tracksuit, and he had nothing to do with it. And oh my God, like, he just put me in a situation of so much fear. Because imagine if you're standing in... Imagine if you're standing in a council flat complex, you're not from there, you forget the money, they're claiming that he done this twice. They think that yous are actually police and they believe it. And there's a gang of them and there's only two of yous and they hate the police. I was like, fuck, we're going to get attacked, like. And if you try and run away, they could run after you and attack you. So, nothing happened. I was so lucky that I walked out of there untouched. Who's selling the drugs in the Marys? Such as the Bond, it'd be the natives. Yeah, it is the natives, bro. Okay, what's your point? Get your people together and clean your own houses first before slagging off others. Nobody's slagging anybody, bro. Bro, how can I sort out the problem, bro? It's up to the government. It's up to the government to get more funding for police, get more police, you know, possibly get cameras in the area that are really high up that they can't take down. You know, put mesh, like metal around them so they can't destroy them. The government needs to start locking people up and making severe prison sentences and make like a big deterrent and stop giving them bail. The prisons are overcrowded. That's why a lot of people are getting bail. They need to build another prison. Apparently, my mother said they're in the process of doing that. You just need a good government to just not tolerate it. Like look in places like Thailand and stuff. Like, people get the death penalty for selling drugs, so just nobody does it. People just don't do it. Okay, you get one stupid idiot that takes a risk, but like most people just don't do it. And I don't agree with it. Yeah, it's inhumane, but I mean, the drug dealer's a scumbag. He doesn't give a fuck about the people he's selling it to, the lives, the families he's destroying, the people he's killing. So I mean, if you're killing people by selling drugs, I wouldn't really give a fuck if you get killed either, executed. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's the government that just like, you know, is not really building enough prisons. I know they're in the process of doing it, but they should build more. They're not sending the money to the right places. They're spending money on overseas issues that has nothing to do with us. And they need to, like, the judges just need to be stricter. Like, they need to stop getting bail, like, and stop giving light sentences. They need severe sentences, and then you just need a deterrent, you know what I mean? That's all I have to say about it. And you're saying it's probably the natives. Yeah, and there it is, because it's a really Irish area. It's a really Irish area, but don't get me wrong, you also have migrants selling drugs in Dublin as well. You know what I mean? You also have Arabs selling drugs, I've seen. You also have blacks selling drugs. It's not only the natives. It's mostly the natives because, I mean, we're like 97 or 98% of the population, I think, of Ireland. Like, there's more of us than there is them. So that's why there's more of us doing it. But you still have them doing it as well in Ireland. I know the prisons are full, that's why they get short sentences, 100%. I know it's a problem in the UK as well. Like, I remember before getting 3 months, you know, because I was intoxicated in public. I had an alcohol problem. I think I was like drunk and disorderly or something. And look, I fucked up. I made a mistake, you know, I'll admit that. But then I forgot about the court case. Like, I actually forgot about it. I'm a very forgetful person. I had it written down in a notebook, but I forgot to check it. And there was a warrant out. You know, they got me. And they put me away for 3 months, but because the prison is like absolutely overcrowded, like I was literally out. I was in there by 12 o'clock at lunch, and I was out by 6 p.m. the same day. Like, I was only in there for 6 hours, and I still came home and had my dinner. Like, it's just crazy. There's no real justice. 100%. That does encourage reoffending. They're all natives, mate. They're not all natives, bro. I'm telling you for sure. They're not all natives that's doing it. I would say the prison population in Dublin, like, I would say probably 30-40% is foreign. It is a beautiful park, bro. It is. I'm gonna have to go in and charge my phone and end the stream. But just before I go, Annie, do you think there's no point going to the Apple Store? I'm not asking anybody else, I'm just asking you. I just want to recheck, because you didn't really say a lot last time. Like, do you think there's no point going? Because the guy in the shop said, no, it's fine. It's because you're streaming. That's why. I've looked in the settings. It would say in the settings if the battery was changed. I said, what about the port where you put the charger in the bottom of the phone? Do you think that's been replaced? He says, no. I think if there was an issue, he would have told you, because then there's a chance of him making money. Because then if he has to change it, he has to make money, and they want anything. They love to make money. That, like, you know, their eyes light up when they see that they're going to make money. Like, not in the battery, I'd go. But will they charge me? Do you think they'll charge me? And do you think I'll get it back the same day? Because I don't want to be left like a couple of days without a phone. I don't know either. See, it's a pity I don't live in the city. Living in the city can be handy for some things, like everything's on your doorstep. You know what I'm going to do then? I'm going to plug my phone in and I'm going to go. I'm going to go to Tesco Mobile first, where I purchased the phone from. It doesn't have to be the exact Tesco Mobile, but it could be like any Tesco Mobile, and explain to them. And then go to Apple and then say, can I make an appointment for tomorrow? Because I live far and I can't be going all the way home and coming back out again. Go to the shop, lad. Yeah. By natives, I mean people who live in the city. Who do you think lived there before? Scotland. Back way. Yeah, we're going to be ending the stream in any second, Annie. My phone is on 4%. Like, I don't, it's normal. Like, I don't think it should be on 4. Like, I think it should be on 50 at least. I don't know. Just waiting for an x-ray. How did you really badly injure yourself? Were you boxing with no gloves on or something? I want her to ask, yeah. I know that fella. How are you, bro? Good. How are you, bro? Good. Good, yeah. Just heading home. I was going for a walk. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking to some girl in the UK at the moment, bro. Yeah. See you, bro. That fella went to my school. Hope it's not serious. Get well soon. Yeah, exactly. We smashed the bag. It's going to take, I'd say, about 40 minutes to get into the city, yeah? And I don't know how it works. Like, do you have to pay for the appointment? Will they just do it for free? But we'll know when we get there. And then another 40 minutes to come back. So, yeah, it's not close. Take up probably a bit of your time, a bit of your day. Go to detox. I don't think it will be that sort. They just think, thank you. You wait or what? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go inside now, plug in my phone, end the stream, and then ring. Thank you, don't thank you. Just think I broke my wrist. That's crazy. You must have been punching too hard. It could just be bruised or just muscle pain because you're not used to it. Sometimes that can happen. I'm gonna end the stream now, guys. I love you. You too. I'll see you all, guys. Yeah, I have to head off now. But I'm gonna start another stream once my phone is charged up in about 30-40 minutes. See yous.